Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. Today's review of the Artemis CP1-M is going to be a little different from my other reviews. I had this glorious idea to save myself some time by combining hobbies. The idea was that since I had to film the CP1-M review and also wanted to check out some mushroom spots up in the mountains for future foraging trips, I figured that I could do the review while I was out in the woods. Well, I was right, I could do that. But I was also wrong in thinking that it was a great idea. Before we get into the review, let's quickly discuss where I had difficulties because I think that some of you may get a kick out of how poorly I thought this through. First things first, you need way more gear to film a YouTube video than you do to pick mushrooms, and even amateur videos like mine require way more preparation than is easy to manage while hiking through the woods. However, you also cover a lot of ground while picking mushrooms. The hike to the shooting spot was about 10 kilometers in, and it was brutal considering everything I had to carry. Secondly, lighting. It's nearly impossible to get decent lighting deep in the woods without artificial lighting, which I didn't bring, so a lot of the footage isn't top quality. Unfortunately, that just is what it is. And thirdly, there are no shooting benches or great spots to shoot from in the woods. Sure, you can take one-off shots successfully in all kinds of weird positions, but getting actual groups that are fair to the gun was next to impossible, at least for me. By the time I shot groups, I was 10K in on a fully uphill hike, hauling more gear than is advisable. I was tired and shooting off a very unstable platform. I just couldn't steady myself at all, so take the groups in this video with a grain of salt. I actually changed spots several times before I called it quits. That's why there are only 2 groups in this video. I just couldn't find a stable shooting position. I know for a fact that this gun can shoot tighter groups, and if you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments and I'll film a follow-up video to this one. All that said, the day was fun and actually pretty successful. The video might not be perfect, but I think it's interesting, and I managed to check out a few mushroom spots. Though I didn't find the particular mushrooms I was looking for, you always learn lots by covering ground in the woods, assuming you're paying attention. However, fun and success aside, I probably will not be combining these two things again in the future. Okay, let's start with what's inside the box for the sub 500 feet per second 177 Cal Artemis CP1-M. Yes, that's right, I brought the whole box with me to do an unboxing. You don't get much. There's a basic instruction manual, and the gun is very securely packaged in styrofoam. Along with the gun, you get a single shot tray and one 9-round magazine. The gun itself feels well made and has a nice quality fit and finish to it, especially considering the price. I like the grip, it's more comfortable than it looks, and it fits my medium-sized hands well. The gun is very similar to a lot of other pellet pistols available on the Canadian market, like the Deanna Chaser or Bandit PCP. Speaking of the Bandit, I brought one with me so that you can see the similarities and differences, besides obviously being CO2 powered and not a PCP. The grip on the CP1-M is a lot more svelte than the Bandit, and unlike most air pistols or rifles or guns in general, this pistol doesn't have a safety anywhere. A lot of these similar guns have them right on the trigger, not this guy though. Another interesting feature that is similar to one found on the Chaser is that there is a small viewing hole on the CO2 tube that lets you see if a cartridge is installed in the gun. But on the CP1-M, they moved it to the underside of the tube, which I think is a nice change from the Chaser, which has it on the side. I bet it's also a handy way to dislodge a CO2 cartridge should you ever get one stuck in the valve, which can be an issue if you over-tighten the CO2 cap or have a bad CO2 seal. Another similarity to the Chaser is the placement of the bolt handle. It's on the left-hand side of the breech, which is a nice little convenience if you're a right-handed shooter shooting from a magazine. The gun comes with open sights. They're okay, but nothing special, and most people will likely attach a red dot or a scope to the dovetail rail that's milled into the breech. As for the trigger, I actually don't think it's as nice as the Bandit or Chaser triggers. It's not horrible by any means, but it's definitely mushier and doesn't seem to break as clean. Okay, let's talk about shooting. Out of this 177 cal gun, you'll likely get about 40 to 50 shots depending on factors like the ambient temperature and how fast you shoot. However, that could definitely be improved with a little tuning, as this gun is clearly wasting CO2. And on the subject of wasting CO2, for a 177 cal pistol, this is quite loud. Probably too loud for backyard shooting if you have easily annoyed neighbors. But fortunately, a simple tune would likely bring the report down a fair amount. Our first group is going to be with 9.57 grain Barracuda FT from H&N, shot out of the single shot tray at 10 meters. And it's pretty good all things considered, maybe a little tighter than dime sized. Our second group will be with the 8.64 grain field target trophy pellets, also from H&N, and also shot out of the single shot tray at 10 meters, and it's only slightly larger than the first group. Neither group is horrible, but like I said earlier, this gun can definitely do better. I was super tired here and not shooting from a stable platform. However, I'll take these groups. I've absolutely shot worse groups in better conditions in the past. So, final thoughts about the CP1-M. I like it. It's a good looking, well-made CO2 pistol that doesn't cost too much. And I'd say that it's pretty solid competition for an iconic gun like the Crossman 2240 that doesn't even come in 177 and needs quite a few aftermarket parts to match what you get here for only about twice the price, or even cheaper if you can find it on sale. There's just something I really enjoy about shooting wood-gripped pellet pistols. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but guns like this just feel classic, no matter how new they are. I do think that every airgun collection needs at least one. Whether or not it's this one, it's up to you. Let me know what you think about this CP1-M or related guns down in the comments, and feel free to like this video or subscribe to the channel if that's the sort of thing you're into. Thanks for watching and have a great day.